Hello everyone, I promised here's some help with your homework on Remains by Simon Armitage. First of all, I'm going to read you the poem. I'm going to read it slowly so that you can take it in and follow it. It's on the school website, so you should be able to find it. If it's not in Year 10, it's in Year 9's GCSE English Literature. Here we go. On another occasion, we get sent out to tackle looters raiding a bank, and one of them legs it up the road, probably armed, possibly not. Well, myself and somebody else are all of the same mind, so all three of us open fire, three of a kind all let him fly, and I swear I see every round as it rips through his life. I see broad daylight on the other side. So we've hit this looter a dozen times, and he's there on the ground, sort of inside out. End of the story, except not really. His blood shadow stays on the street, and out on patrol, I walk over it week after week. Then I'm home on leave. But I blink, and he bursts again through the doors of the bank. Sleep, and he's probably armed, possibly not. Dream, and he's torn apart by 1,000 rounds, and the drink and the drugs won't flush him out. He's here in my head when I close my eyes, dug in behind enemy lines, not left for dead in some distant sun-stunned sand-smothered land, or 6 feet under in desert sand, but near to the knuckle, here and now, his bloody life in my bloody hands. So that's quite a powerful poem. It's obviously a much more modern poem than some of the ones like Ozymandias. And it's written by a man called Simon Armitage, who is still alive, and he's actually younger than I am. He's 2 years younger than I am. But he's quite a clever man, because he became a poet laureate in 2019, which basically means that he's the poet who writes the poems for the Queen and so on and so forth. He did a programme for Channel 4 called The Not Dead. And it was all about interviewing soldiers who'd been in different wars. And this poem is Simon Armitage's version of what one of the people in this programme said. So it is based on a war. Now, it doesn't say so, but it's thought to be the Gulf War, because in the programme, it seemed to be told by somebody called Gardman Troman, and he fought in Iraq in 2003. And then he suffered really badly from what's called PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So when he came back, he was, and immediately after killing this looter, it's a true story, he couldn't, his brain couldn't cope with it, and he had mental illness as a result. So the context of this poem is all about the fact that Armitage writes about modern things, and this is a modern war. And it's about the effect of that war on that soldier. Okay, so he's reliving it day after day after day and thinking in his mind, did that person deserve to die? And that relates again to the war, because at the war in Iraq became unpopular with the public because it was deemed to have been the Americans' idea and nothing really to do with the British, and we joined in because the Americans asked us to, and because the Americans wanted us to support them the way they always support us. And so, but to start with, we were the British public, yeah. Excuse me. And then, of course, everybody started going, hang on a second, why are we fighting a war that we don't really care about? And why are our troops getting killed and everything else? And that is how it changed, and how it changed for the man who's this, what was his name? Guardsman Tromans, because he then started thinking, should he have killed this person? The same as the public were thinking, should we have been in this war? Okay, so the context of the poem is to do with this television program about the lives of soldiers and the poems that Armitage wrote that retell their stories. And it's all based on reality, or the reality of the people who lived and retold their stories through the war. Hope that helps with answering your context questions. Bye.